Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country, in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. All right, and joining me today is a Krav Maga personal defense instructor, Steve Sulze. You share your time between Florida and Missouri, I guess, depending on where the weather is best. But Steve, welcome to the Home Defense Show.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. Unfortunately, I wish it was weather based. I would always be home in Florida, but business, yeah, business calls. I love getting back to St. Louis and working with my team and doing training with them and seeing our new members, since the last month that I've been in town. So it's very grateful and blessed to have the opportunity to do that.
Just give us about 30-second bio about your business and what you do, Steve.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Steve Sulze. I own Extreme Krav Maga and Fitness in St. Louis. I also have a firearms training company called Extreme Tactical Defense, and basically we're going on our 18th, 19th year in business. And what got me into this originally was just growing up, being bullied, out of shape, and I found mixed martial arts, when I was like 22 years old. And Krav Maga specifically, really, stuck out to me because you learn punches, kicks, knees, elbows, ground fighting, weapons defenses. And, as I've trained and continued to train through the years, got the passion of being able to help other people gain confidence, self-esteem, and, become a better version of themselves through that kind of leadership and guidance and personal development on not only just on the mats, but also off the mats. Because, I know that, training in Krav Maga and martial arts and jiu-jitsu and everything has helped me, not just with my fighting skills, but also, becoming more financially sound, becoming better, in my relationships with friends and family, and making better business decisions. And we want to help our students do that exact same thing.
Awesome. So, St. Louis, how's the crime rate in St. Louis right
Um, I mean, I would say not good. Um,
now?
last when I was in town last month, we actually went to a concert downtown, like in St. Louis City, me and three other friends, and that was the first time I had been down in the city, I think, since like pre-COVID, because especially during COVID, crime was very out of control. They were not prosecuting anyone. Cops would lock people up and then they would get out of jail same night or next day. No charges being brought to a lot of these criminals. And so we just stopped going downtown. We stopped seeing, sporting events and shows and things like that. And I think we've gotten a new mayor. I want to say maybe last year, and I think they're really trying to clean up this city. And in St. Louis is kind of weird because we have St. Louis County, and then St. Louis City, and there's a lot of similarities, and they obviously butt up to each other, but there's definitely definitive differences, in crime and also policing. The county is in my opinion much better than the city. A lot of things you get away
Yeah.
with in the city. But no, we didn't have any issues. When we were down there, a lot of things had changed. Saw a pretty decent police presence, when we were walking around to the different venues and such. So I feel like maybe it's getting a little bit better just from the outside. I always still see news articles of shootings and things like that. But of course, there's crime everywhere. It's just the level,
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, well, I'm about, I don't know, 25 miles from Grand Rapids, which is it's not a big city, maybe 170,000 with, all the metropolises factored in there. But boy, in the last year, it's gotten really bad there. They have a very, like their city council, their mayor, they're very anti police. And crime, it just seems to go up when that happens. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, certain places you just got to stay away from. My son, he lives in St. Charles, and he used to work downtown St. Louis, but now he switched to, working remote just so he
Hmm.
wouldn't have to go down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating because the city used to be a really cool place. I remember, in my late teens, early 20s. I mean, we would be downtown every weekend, hitting the bars. Really cool spot that they call the Landing, which is right on the riverfront in front of the arch.
Uh-huh.
Original cobblestone walkways, a lot of old original businesses, like buildings, that have kind of been renovated. And then, yeah, just through the years, they just never, did upkeep on it. And then as the crime continued, businesses left. Of course, no new business coming in. And then you lose the folks who want to move down there, and it just gets back into that cycle of going, back downhill again. And it's really, yeah, it's really, really sad because, there is such cool history, in a lot of these major cities across the US. I mean, Detroit, same way, where it's just bad. Chicago, a lot of these major cities that they just don't, they don't enforce the laws. And I've always kind of said, once I got into self-defense, I kind of realized once I started working with law enforcement, and then seeing people who have had to use some of the training, that we've offered, whether they're civilians or law enforcement. And it's like, laws are only as good as they're enforced.
Yeah.
And you know the laws really aren't there to protect the innocent. They're there to protect the criminals, unfortunately. and
Yeah.
and and there's just so many loopholes, that these criminals, get an attorney and they can sneak through. And it's like, my fiance watches those Dateline murder shows like all the
Oh,
time, and I
yeah.
and I get sucked into some of them that are kind of appealing. And it's like, you'll see they'll have DNA, camera footage, uh a testimony, the guy's got no alibi. And it's like, you're like, oh man, clear cut case. Like everything makes sense. And then, they'll get off on some type of technicality. Oh, well, the police officer didn't, do this specific analysis on this specific thing, so we can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's like, you've literally got everything lined up here. Like all of it points to guilty, and it's
Yeah.
it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. If crime didn't pay, we would have fewer criminals, but crime does pay. Yeah,
Hmm.
I was talking to a friend of mine last week, a criminal defense attorney, right? And he said some of his best clients are career criminals. He said, they pay up front because they have plenty of money. If they need more money, they'll just go steal it or embezzle it or
Sure.
whatever they do. And he said, had one of my clients call last week, and I asked him, I said, okay, well, what did you tell the police? He said, nothing, didn't say a word. He says, okay, good. And he said, this guy gets off every single time.
Mm.
I,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
he-
they know the laws, typically better than law enforcement a lot of times.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they know the game to play. And specifically to St. Louis City, we've had very bad rashes of carjackings. Like there's like different seasons of carjackings that will happen. And we trained one of the anti-carjacking units. We trained one of the gentlemen who was head of that. And and I would see, obviously, these carjackings happen on the news. I'd shoot him a text, hey, what happened here? What's going on with this? I actually had a personal friend have it happen. It wasn't a carjacking, but it was a fake certified check, basically where they purchased a car with a fake check.
Mhm.
And this wasn't like a cheap car. This was a very, very nice, like Hemi, Durango, like $100,000 plus car.
Yeah.
And and basically, what my police officer friend said is that, they know specifically like the ins and the outs of how far they're going to pursue, how deep that they're going to look, what they're looking for, and so they make sure that they cover their tracks in these certain conditions. And I was like, elaborate kind of more what you mean. And I told them about my friend, the incident that happened, and basically, they pay cash to like these tractor trailer drivers. All this stuff is done like over the internet, via like dark web, where they sell. So they'll buy these cars with fake checks. They pay an 18 wheeler driver, $2,000 to transport it to one of the coasts, typically like somewhere in California, Texas, Miami, and then someone either overseas or local, will purchase these vehicles that are already basically pre-bought, sometimes through the dark web, but then they said also sometimes they end up reselling them online. So they'll go and list that person's vehicle on Marketplace or Auto Trader, that person not knowing that it's stolen, because not everybody will run a VIN check or something
Yeah.
like that. And so then this person puts a $5,000 deposit on this vehicle. They never get the vehicle, and then they still end up selling the stolen vehicle to someone else and or parting it out, for at a chop shop or something. So they're kind of double dipping. And what sucks is there's nothing recoverable. They can't get anything back. Insurance doesn't cover it. If the vehicle gets recovered, you just get the vehicle back in whatever condition that it was in. And he actually did end up getting his vehicle back because they tracked it via GPS. It was on a tractor trailer headed to California, and they found it in like Sykeston or something. Like a license plate reader had picked it up. And yeah, and then I go, well, what happened? He goes, oh, I just got the car back. It smelled like marijuana, had some stains and a couple dents and dings, and now I've got to try to sell it for $30,000 less than what it was. And that's on the title now too, as being stolen. So now
Yeah.
that's a mark on the titles. And I'm like, so the innocent consumer gets screwed from every angle, and the criminals are all still. And he had ring camera footage of these guys because they actually showed up to his house. They searched the internet, found his address from the VIN number, and showed up at his house in basically what looked like what he was explaining to me is a pretty tinted out, sketchy vehicle. Some sketchy guys got out, and he knew. He's like, and he said he recognized that the check wasn't real.
Mhm.
But he's like, I'm not going to fight these guys. Like, there's four of them, one of me. This is at my house. I'm like, I'm just going to comply and play dumb. He's like, this is not the place, or time for this to happen. And it's unfortunate. There's not much you can do when you're outnumbered.
I appreciate that, Steve. We're out of time, but before you go, tell people where they can go to find out more about what you do.
Yeah, check us out online, guys. www.xkmstl.com for our Krav Maga website. We do travel all across the country. We can run seminars, active shooter trainings, corporate events, team building, whatever you guys are interested in. We have our team that goes around, including myself. So if there's something that, at a martial arts school or a business or a church that you guys would like to get introduced to our training, reach out and contact us. If you're local in the St. Louis area, we'd love to have you in for a free evaluation lesson.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on Home Defense Show today, Steve. Appreciate it
No
very
problem.
much.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. All right, I've written 20 plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my book, Sunrise Reflections, Finding Hope in Hard Times. I think you'll like it. And also check out the Home Defense Show videos on rumble.com. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!
Firearms training should be easy.
Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.